Three, ready?
Ready.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Ashley Baptiste with the Power Conference to Advance Women, and I am so excited that I get to introduce to you one of the speakers who's going to be presenting at the Power Conference to Advance Women on Friday, November 11th in Hollandale Beach, Florida. So with that, I'm excited to introduce you to Shelley Williams. She's the head of global sales at Hard Rock International. And Shelley, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Ashley. So it's such a pleasure to be here today.
It is always a pleasure to see you. And I feel like an extra lucky person that I get to see you probably more often than I get to see a lot of the other folks who are speaking at the event. So that's just like cool for me. Tell us a little bit about you.
Oh gosh, there's been a lot of things going on in my world, which is both reflective and introspective, I would say. And I think one of the things that we're going to bring to the table at the conference shortly is some of the things that I've learned over the last 30, 45 days. It's been fast and furious, like most people in everybody's lives. But I think there's some learnings that we can take away from just reflection. And I think that's a couple of the things that we want to talk about where everybody is in their lives. Why are they in those positions in their worlds and their lives? And then what can they do about it?
That's awesome. I know you've had a pretty significant month, to say the least, if not 2 months. But that the most of what some of what you're going to be talking about at the conference is really talking about designing your destiny and how to strategically navigate and advance your career. So some of the other speakers are business owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs. But you're coming at the sort of the entrepreneur mindset within a corporate environment. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think earlier on with the group of your followers, we talked a little bit about, is the grass really greener when you're doing it all on your own? And I think, there's a different way of looking at that. And I respect all my fellow entrepreneurs out there. And I think it's great. I just don't like the finance side of the work. And I don't like some of the things that I'd have to do all by myself, right? Sure, you can hire those people to do a lot of those roles. But when you have built up a career with a kind of like a funnel, a downline, a mentee, a mentor type of environment, sometimes you just don't have to go out on your own. Sometimes you can find it within the corporate networks as well. And so one of the things that I always like to talk about is a little bit, it's like really evaluate and recognize what your passions are, realize where your purpose is, and then reel in that pursuit. And so what is that pursuit? Is that pursuit all on your own? Because being an entrepreneur sometimes can be a very lonely place. And so we really want to kind of talk about that before you kind of jump into those waters. And then the other thing is think about the profits and the rewards. By doing it on your own, yes, you have a lot of flexibility, but that can also be garnered in a corporate world as well. It's just how you navigate that and what is it that you're looking for within that transparency context. So that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about when we see each other on November 11th.
That's great. I love that it's coming from it. It's not all or nothing, right? It's not like you have to do it for yourself. You can find an organization that aligns with your purpose and your passion, and you're almost freer, right, to work within that structure because the structure is already there, instead of trying to set everything up on your own, which a lot of us have done. And you're right, it's not exactly the most efficient use of my time. So I'm really glad that you're talking about it because I think this is really helpful for so many women. If I could ask, if you were to meet someone like right now who was like, yeah, I saw something about this event, but I'm kind of on the fence about attending, what would you say to them?
I think what we're going to be sharing is the transparency about real talk. And I think that's really where the advancing of women really need to start. There's a lot of people around the table. A lot of times I see men pushing up men, by this real talk kind of thing. And I think women need to really have the opportunity to do so as well. And I think that's kind of where I see some of the speaker lineup that you're bringing forward, to really talk about some of those things that sometimes are behind the scenes. And, there's an opportunity to stand up and say, this is kind of where I am. What kind of advice may you give me? So it's almost a mentor coaching opportunity when you think about your lineup. So it's kind of fun. It's interesting to see the lineup. But I certainly can't wait to see who actually gets into the room to see if we can actually have this transparent talk.
I love that, because I think that that's something that I've tried to represent my entire career. It's just, we can all look at the glossy, we can all look at the pretty, but I want to know, like, has this person dealt with some stuff, right? Or how did they deal with that stuff so that they could focus on their business? And I think it's really easy, and maybe more so for women, to kind of look at, we judge other women. We look at them and say, well, sure, I could do that too if I had, a family business like that, or I could do that too if I had a husband who made that much money, or, just all the crap that kind of comes into our heads, instead of just focusing on what can I learn from this person, right? Like, what takeaways can I get from just, setting all of that aside and just listening. So I love that you said that, because I think that transparent, real conversation about like what's really going on and how do you deal with that is exactly what we're looking to bring to this event. So very cool. Anything else you want to sprinkle on or preview before the event?
Well, I think we want to be prepared to set the table, right? And I think setting the table is really important, coming in with the confidence and really with the objective of, why is it that you actually got there? Because there's a reason that you're listening. There's a reason that you're following. And are you going to take the courage to actually take that step and get in the room? And that's what I mean by setting the table. It's easy to, and I'm one of those people. I always have my dining room table set. I'm one of those that loves the cutlery and loves the plates and the table settings. And so, but that also reminds me to say, well, there's a table that's set. Are you ready to get in and be involved? And so I think that's kind of the takeaway. So follow us, join us with this conversation.
Very cool. Shelley, thank you so much for your time today. I cannot wait to see you in Hollandale Beach on November 11th on that fabulous Friday for this awesome one-day event. And just a note for those who are watching, the conference ticket, whichever one you buy, actually comes with a whole year of group coaching calls. We meet every other week. So you get an opportunity to not only gather with the women that you attended the conference with, but you also, sometimes you get to the end of a conference and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I have so many ideas. I'm not sure which I should do first. And then so what we do with that coaching call is take a little piece that you learned from the conference and just review it. Because sometimes you just need that reminder. You needed to keep and to try things out. Like, okay, she said to do this. I'm going to do this for the next 2 weeks and then report back. So it's a really cool opportunity to do this one day, very inspiring, motivating, empowering event, and then get to kind of keep it going for the whole year. So we look forward to seeing you soon, honey.
Me too. It's going to be fun.
Great. Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great day and good luck, and happy birthday to Gus.
I will pass that along. Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.